Good morning. Thank you for coming. I was at the High Court in Auckland last week. 50 years ago, I was in the High Court at Auckland. Half a century ago, on a wet Friday afternoon, I witnessed my mother and father get sentenced to very long terms of prison and taken away. I stood outside the High Court on that Friday afternoon, age 17, absolutely committed to a lifetime of hard work, honest endeavour, and public service to try and balance the family ledger. As I have said on many occasions in recent months, anyone in this room that has known me for a long time, and anybody who knows me well, would not believe that I would knowingly file a false return of anything. No one in this room who knows me, and no one outside these precincts who knows me would believe that. My focus and energy must be on serving the people of the Epsom electorate, working hard for them every day, and discharging my electoral obligations to them as a Member of Parliament, and I will continue to do so. My next commitment is working through the long triangulated legal process to keep my name. I will not be saying anything more about the case and the particulars of the case that is now before the courts, except to say in conclusion, I'm not fearful of the process or where it will end. As leader of the ACT Party, it is my duty to consider the best interests of the political party that I belong to as we move into election year. I'm simply not able to dedicate all my energy and ability on returning ACT to Parliament next year in bigger numbers while fighting through the courts to clear my name. I have therefore concluded that the interests of the ACT Party are best served by indicating to you today that I will not be seeking my party's nomination as the candidate for Epsom in 2014. This long political career started in the mid-1970s with my election to the Birkenhead Borough Council, then the Auckland Regional Authority, then Member of Parliament for Wellington, and then to the Town Hall, and back to Parliament. Tomorrow is the 50th anniversary of the Bassett Road killings. My job, when out of school, out of work, and out of luck, was taking bottles from that beer house and others and selling them to Corbyn's Wines for cash in Hobson Street before sunup to pay my way through my education. It's been a long, long way from the beer house to Parliament House today. A long, long way. And so it's now time for me to move on from this place. This allows the ACT Party to select a new candidate put before the people of Epsom to wave the banner for the party, for its values, its ideals, its philosophy, concepts and its principles, well before the next election. That candidate will have the maximum opportunity to apply themselves and their energy and ability on earning the confidence of the people of the Epsom electorate. I must say the people of the Epsom electorate have been extraordinarily generous to me during these rather difficult times. This will allow the ACT Party to look to a new leader and to take into the election campaign next year a new leader and a new leadership team. That leader can focus on building a great team to put in front of New Zealanders and earn the party votes for ACT. As I've said, until the election I'll continue to serve the Epsom electorate every day as the local MP to the best of my ability. This announcement today does not affect the commitments made between National and the ACT Party in our confidence and supply agreement. I have enjoyed working very much with John Key and his senior members in the interests of pushing forward this country and its best interests. The next election will be close, very close. Like last time, ACT and Epsom can and will make a difference. I believe in a country where everybody has the freedom to achieve. I believe in living and working in a country where anyone from wherever they come from in life has the ability to succeed and to achieve their endeavours. Whether New Zealand can be a more open, prosperous and enterprising nation with our focus firmly on the future will depend on the ACT Party succeeding next year. It is important that the ACT Party does well next year. That is why I am not standing as the ACT candidate next. That is why we need to re-gear, relaunch, refocus our commitment to building a party that makes a difference in the Parliament next year. I believe the decisions announced today will help us towards that success. Thank you very much.
John Banks, are you quitting as leader of the ACT Party as well?
I will quit as leader of the ACT Party at the annual general meeting, I think it's the 1st of March next year.
So you are quitting?
I will be quitting as leader of the ACT Party.
So there'll be a new leader elected at that AGM?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you consider resigning as an MP altogether?
No. Although my detractors and the parliamentary opposition parties believe I'm guilty and should be in jail today, there's a presumption of innocence in this country until proven guilty in the court of law.
But will the ACT brand not be tarnished with you going to court early in the next year? Do you really help the party by doing that?
Look, I'm committed to serving the people of Epsom. I can do that well. I've done nothing wrong, so why would I resign? But I have indicated today I'm not going to be the candidate or the leader.
But doesn't it look like an admission of guilt that you've given up, you've quit?
Well, it could do to you. And I respect that. But no, it's not an admission of guilt. I've told you at every time, at every occasion, I'm not guilty of any offence. That is why I'm fighting it.
You told us you had nothing to fear and nothing to hide. Did you actually have something to fear as it turned out?
I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to fear with the process. No one is above the law. No one is above the law. And the legal process will take its course. Last week I visited the court for the 11th time in front of the 8th judge. And so the process continues on.
How do you feel your chances will be in winning next year when you go to trial?
My chances were very good.
But you have said that in the lead up to this, that you thought it would be thrown out, but it hasn't.
I've never had a trial. I've never had a trial, and that's the problem. And I'm looking forward to a trial, and I'm looking forward to clearing my name. I think it's very good. I must repeat, no one, not you, Barry, who've known me for a long time, and no one else in this room has known me as long as you, or anyone outside this room believes that I would knowingly do something dishonest.
Do you have a successor in mind?
For Epsom?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a successor. It's over to the party.
Do you have a successor in mind for the leadership?
No, I don't, but I'll let John talk about that.
Also, do you think that the next leader of the ACT Party will stand in the Epsom electorate? Is that the plan?
Or I can't answer that. I couldn't tell you that.
Have you talked to the Prime Minister over the last you have anything for it?
No, not at all. I haven't had a conversation with the Prime Minister this week.
Can I ask you about Kim.com and the fact that in
No.
some senses...
No.
But can I ask you what you think of Kim.com?
Oh, no.
Because he, in many senses, has a vendetta against the Prime Minister. This is one way of getting to the Prime Minister through you. What do you think of Kim.com, John Banks?
Well, that narrative is an interesting perspective.
Do you feel that Kim.com has won this by getting to you?
Well, I mean, I don't know what Kim.com's motives are, but maybe in court we'll find out. But Kim.com certainly has his own legal challenges.
John, will you be...
And I'll put that to John.
Mr. Boscawen, will you be standing in either the Epsom seats or taking over as party leader? Do you see your role changing?
Look, before I answer any questions, what I would like to do is explain the process for selecting a new candidate for Epsom and a new leader. The board, I expect, will meet probably by conference call the next day or so, and I would expect the board to open nominations for the candidate for the seat of Epsom. We have our party conference on Saturday the 1st of March. The board, I know, believes that it's important that we have that candidate for Epsom in place before the 1st of March. So we're calling for nominations and the board will select that candidate. In the past, we've been keen to get members' support, members' endorsement of our leader. Certainly in 1996, when Richard Preble he sought the endorsement of the wider membership. So I'd encourage people that are interested in being members of the ACT Party, participating in the process, to rejoin or to renew their membership. So far as the leadership is concerned, once again, that's an issue for the ACT board. The ACT board will make a decision on that, and we would expect, I would imagine, that we would have made our decision and have a person that will be in a position to take over from John when he stands down at the annual conference, annual general meeting on the 1st of March.
John Boscawen, are you putting your name forward for the ACT leadership?
Look, I made a decision when I was in Parliament 2 years ago not to seek re-election, and it's a decision that I don't regret one last little bit.
John Boscawen, do you think that the next ACT leader should stand in Epsom? Is that the appropriate place for the ACT leader to stand?
I don't want to speculate on what the board decide over in terms of the candidate for Epsom or the leadership. But certainly Rodney Hyde stood in Epsom, as has John Banks. Mind you, of course, Don Brash didn't stand in the Epsom electorate. But that's a decision for the board, and it's a decision that we intend to make and have in place before the 1st of March. Because we intend to go out there and fight a strong election campaign, and I'd reiterate what John says, it's very important for the country that we are successful.
My question essentially is, do you think that Epsom is still the #1 target for the ACT Party, that the ACT Party can win Epsom, that the ACT Party has a home in Epsom? Is that
I certainly believe that the ACT Party can retain the seat of Epsom. We won it fair and square in 2005. No one was more surprised on election night than Richard Worth. It was not given to us. Rodney Hyde worked very, very hard, and he continued to work hard through that period 2005 to 2008, and he increased his majority from 3,500 to 13,000 votes.
Have you talked to the national...
John Banks took over that. He also worked very hard and was elected the MP of Epsom. So the people of Epsom have elected an ACT MP at the last 3 general elections, and more importantly, had they not done so, John Key quite likely wouldn't be the Prime Minister right now.
So
John Key has majority won, and it was the people of Epsom who made John Key the Prime Minister.
Do you expect John Key to back?
Do you think it was a mistake that you ever came back to Parliament? Because you've really, ever since you've come back, you've been in hot water.
It's been difficult. This is a very different place to when I arrived here with sort of an Alduna all those years ago. It's much more feral. It's much more septic. It's quite a lot more nasty. And, that is the downside. The good side is the modern media is up to speed and instantaneous. And I don't have complaints about the modern media at all. You take your lumps. Should have I come back? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, Sobes. Really is. So if I knew what I knew now, would I have done things differently? Probably. But my life is never looking back on that twisting road to the beer house. It's looking forward into the future.
Mr. Banks, was it your decision to stand down, or did the party force you?
Oh no, it was absolutely my decision to stand down. Look, we need a circuit breaker. We need a circuit breaker. The narrative cannot be about me and Epsom, the ACT Party and the coalition. The narrative's got to be about the future of this country and a centre-right government after next election with the ACT Party in bigger numbers. And I just have to tell you that it can't happen with me facing regular visits to court and a trial sometime next year. It just doesn't make sense.
Mr. Boscawen, have you considered at all whether this is the end of the road for ACT? Is it time to just consider that that's it? I mean, you're polling at virtually zero and you've had nothing but trouble for the last few years.
I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever this is not the end of the ACT Party. I believe the ACT Party can rebuild. We've run 6 very successful election campaigns. In 1996, against all predictions, we got 8 MPs. We got 9 MPs in 1999 and 2002. John Banks has achieved something that no other ACT MP has done. He's introduced legislation for partnership schools. As a consequence, we've got 5 schools opening next year on the 1st of February. You can read about one of them in the Sunday Star Times. It's a South Auckland middle school. They've got 120 vacancies and they've already got over 100 enrolments. I've got no doubt it'll be an outstanding school. The principal currently runs the Village Education Trust, great school in Mount Hobson and Remuera. And so we're going to go out, we're going to take that message to the people of New Zealand. There's a number of major economic issues and demographic issues facing this country, and quite frankly, if we're not there re-elected in sufficient numbers, I fear for the National Party and I fear for the National Party government of the country.
Mr. Boscawen, can I ask you, do you think that John Key will help ACT in Epsom again? Do you expect to get the help of John Key in Epsom again?
We've been a very strong and reliable partner to the National Party since 2008 government. I don't want to speculate on what John Key will or will not do, but we won, or Rodney Hyde won the seat of Epsom without any help at all from the National Party in 2005.
John Banks didn't. John Banks needed John Key's help.
And John Banks is not standing.
ACT needed John Key's help last time. Are you going to get it again? Because if you don't...
Well, I don't know whether we're going to get John Key's help. I suspect we will. I don't know. I'm in the same position as Colin Craig.
You can't win it without his help, can you?
Yes, we can. We absolutely can. And let's make that very clear this morning. Rodney Hyde won the seat of Epsom in 2005.
John Banks didn't.
And John Banks is not standing in 2014. Rodney Hyde won the seat in 2005, fair and square, and the week before the election, the National Party president put a name to 40,000 letters that went out to Epsom encouraging people to vote for Richard Worth. And the people of Epsom could see through that letter. They could see the very real significance of electing Rodney Hyde. And because they elected Rodney Hyde, the ACT Party was able to form the government in 2008. If they hadn't have done that, quite likely Helen Clark would still be the Prime Minister. And certainly if the people of Epsom hadn't elected John Banks the last election, at best, John Key would be dependent upon the Maori Party. Every single piece of legislation he wants to pass.
John Banks, can I ask you about your rival, and the ACT Party's rival out on the right, Colin Craig? You may not have caught up with this, but he is unsure if man landed on the moon. He said on radio this morning. Do you think man landed on the moon? Do you believe that?
Well, I mean, he's also unsure that Elvis is not dead. Thanks very much, team. Thanks for coming.